Hello and welcome to another episode of the Chrissie Mayr podcast. We are on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and SoundCloud. And if you're listening to us right now on iTunes, please go and leave a 5-star review. I will read it no matter what it says. It doesn't even have to be good. If it's a 5 stars, I'm going to read it. That's how I roll. Quick shout out to our sponsor, Cushy Dreams. I want to tell you guys about Cushy Dreams. Cushy Dreams offers a full lineup of premium smokable CBD. They specialize in extraordinary rich CBD hemp flower, aka bud, in cans and pre-roll CBD joints. It tastes great. It's exactly like high quality weed, but you're not going to get high. You can get all the health benefits of CBD without, going out to lunch. These products have under 0.3% THC. It's cannabis that ships directly to you, and it's legal in all 50 states. Join the men and women who are sick of vapes and gummies and want to smoke their CBD. Cushy Dreams, smoke your CBD. I really like the hustle joints. Like I'm a big joint gal. No, just because I don't have anything to smoke anything out of. And I love these like chic 5-pack of the CBD pre-roll joints. I have a couple pulls. Within minutes, my mind and body feel calmed down and I can sort of like attack my day. Cushy Dreams has a bunch of different indica sativa blends like energy, hustle, relax, create, dream, peace. So whatever you want to do with your day, Cushy Dreams has got your back. Best of all, it's grown here in the USA. Each batch is slow cured for 2 to 4 weeks to guarantee maximum freshness and preserve flavor and cannabinoids. And you can check on their website. They're like pretty much obsessed with doing lab tests for, safety and compliance and purity. And you can check out all the details there on their website. So go to cushydreams.com, KUSHY dreams.com, and get you some high quality CBD bud at the checkout. Use promo code CMP for 20% off every order. First, second, third, fourth, fifth, every order, man. And get, I think, free shipping as well, which is fantastic. Really quickly, I have dates. I got stand-up dates. The domestic terrorist tour continues. I'm going to be in New York City at Stand Up New York, April 9th. That's with Comedians of the Compound. Then I'm heading to Wilmington, Delaware, the House of Laughs, April 23rd and 24th. Then to Florida at the Boca Black Box in Boca Raton. That's April 30th. May 1st is the Lake Park Black Box in Palm Beach. May 2nd, Side Splitters in Tampa. May 9th, Bricktown in Oklahoma City. May 14th and 15th, Comedians of the Compound at the Big Laugh Comedy Club in Austin. May 18th, Zanies in Nashville. May 19th, Stand Up Live in Huntsville, Alabama. June 3rd, Hilarities in Cleveland. And then June 4th and 5th at the Skyline in Appleton, Wisconsin. Another quick shout out to our other sponsor, Lucy Nicotine Gum, boys and girls. Lucy is a company founded by Caltech scientists and former smokers looking for a better and cleaner nicotine alternative. Finally, tobacco alternatives that don't suck. These products were researched and developed for 3 years to be made for people, not patients. Lucy has created a nicotine gum with 4 milligrams of nicotine that comes in 3 flavors: wintergreen, cinnamon, and pomegranate. They also have a cherry ice flavored lozenge with also 4 milligrams of nicotine. I have not had the lozenge, but I have tried every single gum flavor. I think it's in my little box here, and they all legitimately taste great. It doesn't taste like you're chewing on a cigarette. You don't taste that nicotine. You just taste that delicious gum goodness. It's 2021, boys and girls. It's time to get rid of your cigarettes, unplug your vape, throw out that nasty dip, and get you some Lucy nicotine gum or lozenges. These products are totally convenient, discreet. Chew them on flights, at work, at the gym, like wherever you go. There you go. This is the real deal. A subscription to Lucy comes directly to your door each and every month. It's so simple. You don't have to leave your house. Lucy has delivery down. For all my CMP listeners, go to lucy.co and use promo code CMP to get 20% off all products, including gum and lozenges. That's lucy.co, and use promo code CMP at checkout. Also, I have to give this disclaimer warning. This product contains nicotine derived from tobacco, and nicotine is an addictive chemical. You know what else is addictive? You know what I'm going to say. It's savings. Yeah. Yeah, so go to Lucy.co and use the promo code CMP. Okay, enough with all of that. I'm so excited to have this gal on the pod today. Been kind of a long time fan, distantly crushing on this girl for like months and months now. But I'm having her on to chat because things are popping in her world. Things are happening for her. She's a libertarian. She's a constitutional originalist. I don't even know what that means, but I love it. Anti-feminist, love that. And recently was named a Turning Point USA ambassador. I would call her also like a sort of like adorable, fresh, young conservative influencer. I don't know. She's all things. Isabella Riley.
Hello, thank you so much for having me on.
Thank you for doing it. I always love meeting people who are like either disaffected liberals or they like came from a liberal college and somehow managed to emerge like sensible. You're like a sensible you're this is going to sound like an aunt, but like you're like this sensible, like hot young lady. And I feel like that's it's so refreshing to see that online because what you mostly see are just like straight up thoughts, you know, like people who have either the Kardashians or Cardi B as their mentor or just kind of these brainwashed like liberal types, you know, and I think it's actually like brave to do what you do. Even though you might not think so, because it's just, I feel like there's so much against having kind of a different voice. So I want to know, you, like myself, came from a liberal college, but you have always been kind of a conservative, which I find sort of miraculous. How did that happen? How did you not get sucked in?
So I definitely attribute that to my father. My father has always been libertarian, conservative, and that's something that my father and I have always bonded over. We're both just so political, always have been, always will be. We're very annoying to be around if you don't want to talk politics because that's all we want to talk about, and we're both very loud and aggressive about it. But yeah, I've always been conservative, libertarian. I've always rejected the whole collectivist mentality. And going into college, I went to UMass Amherst, and obviously very liberal. Massachusetts is known to be a very liberal state, and Amherst is actually known to be the belly of the beast of Massachusetts. So very liberal, but I made do. I tried, in high school, I went to private Catholic school my whole life besides for college. Weird thing, I'm also an atheist. So I don't really, conform to everything. That's like my favorite way to trigger conservatives is say I'm an atheist. And they're like, oh God. And I'm like, I know, it's crazy. I went to Catholic school my whole life, still didn't change me. But I'm also not against religion. I think the moral values of the Judeo-Christian values that the country was built on are obviously amazing. And that's why the Western world does better than other places on the globe. So yeah, but basically I went to a liberal college. I used to be very outspoken in my classes in high school or in the beginning of college, quickly learned to shut up because I've had the entire class along with professors come at me. I remember when the whole Brett Kavanaugh thing was happening, my entire class was obviously, condemning him. He's obviously a gang rapist. And I was like, hey, how about we wait until there's actual facts coming out? There is something we like to call due process in America. You're innocent until proven guilty. So let's wait for facts to come out. And I was scolded. It was just terrible for me to ever say that. So I just learned to shut up, and I kind of took it as a learning experience. So I'm a political science major. I have to write a lot of papers on politics. And so I would argue mostly from the liberal perspective, but I took that as a way to learn their arguments better, because the best way to dismantle someone else's argument is to fully understand them. And that's kind of where the left sees their biggest flaws when they're debating people from the right, because they don't understand where we're coming from whatsoever. So it's harder to dismantle those ideas if you don't understand where they're coming from. So I took it as a learning experience, but yeah, I did not. My dad used to say, I don't want you to come out of college a liberal. And I used to say, how could you even think that would ever happen? I'm very strong-minded. And I mean, you can convince me to change my mind if I genuinely believe that it's a better idea. I'm not one of those people that just is a contrarian just to disagree with everyone, but I'm also not afraid to disagree with everyone. So it's really what I genuinely think. But if anything, it radicalized me more to see how stupid the left is. And yeah, I would say more of a libertarian than a conservative. There has been a trend lately to go to paleo conservatism. I don't know if you've heard of it. It's like a new TikTok term.
Paleo, is that conservatives that only eat meat and like no carbs?
No, no, unfortunately not. No, basically paleo means like really respect for traditions. So, and they kind of lean more towards authoritarian government. Not saying that they want to be, you know, Nazis or anything, which is what the left will think that means. But basically, these are conservatives that believe porn should be banned. And now I don't
Okay.
believe porn is good, but I don't think it should be banned. You know what I
I've
mean?
talked
And
to
they'll,
people like
yeah,
that. Yeah.
it's very frustrating because they'll kind of come at it from a leftist perspective where they're like, oh, if you don't think porn should be banned, then that means you're pro porn. I'm like, no, I'm actually not. I just don't think the government should ban it. It's very different.
Yeah, it like and I find the people that are very passionate about having porn be banned are ones that have struggled with porn addiction. And it's like, yeah, if it doesn't affect your life, it's not something like you and I will go like several days in a row probably never thinking about porn, but it's like if you're someone who's like, "Oh god," like you're really, you know, there's like an obsession or a temptation there, like I can totally understand. It's usually guys that are very passionate. I find I've talked to more guys that are passionate about having porn banned. And I'm like,
That's
"Oh,
very true. I've
sounds like
noticed
you
that
struggle
too.
with it." Yeah.
Yeah, that's very true.
And so when did you graduate college?
So I still am taking one Spanish class
Oh,
online.
okay.
So I'm not technically even in college, but May I technically am done. You know, I need Spanish classes to get a political science degree. I actually
Yeah.
always planned to go to law school. Only the only reason I wanted to though was because I wanted the credibility behind my name to go into politics. I've always known I want to go into politics, so I didn't necessarily want to become a practicing lawyer. So when the whole COVID thing happened, it kind of made me feel like this is stupid. Why would I waste my time and money to go into a profession just for like the elitist title behind my name, you know? So
Mm.
I also got food poisoning for my LSAT,
Oh my
which was very traumatizing for me. It made me feel like, wow, I spent all this time doing didn't have a social life the last 2 years of college, devoted my time all to school, and to have it all ruined in one day for not having a good LSAT. It was like working with professors, doing undergraduate research projects. I was doing everything, did not have a social life whatsoever. And to have it all like crushed with one test made me think, why am I going to waste my time and money to go get this elitist title behind my name? Like, why don't I just start? And that's when I started making TikToks. Well, not really. It took me a while to gain the courage to make TikToks, but that's when I decided I'm going to see how this next year goes. Just taking one Spanish class, which is not a lot of work, and just see where that goes. And I've now decided I don't think I'm going to waste my time and money on law school. And then I started social media. So now we're here.
Which if you told most people like, "Oh, I quit law school to make TikToks," they'd be like, "You fucking moron," or like, "What do you do?" But like anyone who talks to you is like knows that you're like really smart and you have your shit together and you're well spoken. And I think it's a smart move to go into TikTok because it's that's how you reach the youth. I mean, everything I say, I sound like a cool aunt, but like that's how you reach the preteens, the teenagers, people in their 20s. I mean, even like people in their 30s and 40s are on TikTok, but like at that point, they've sort of made up their minds one way or the other. And I think it's kind of important. Like it's good work what you're doing. So I'm going to bring up your TikTok so people can
Should
see.
I?
I don't know if they've heard of you. I mean, if they haven't heard of you at this point, my God, they need to crawl out
Same.
from under a rock. And so you've been TikToking for just a few months, it seems.
Yeah. So I think I posted my first video at the like last couple days of October 2020. So it hasn't been that long. So
Wow.
that's why I'm like, people probably don't know who I am, and that's understandable. I just started, but yeah, most of my videos are just me responding to hate comments because I get so many, and that's why I know this is why you like a lot of my videos. Why I call myself a staunch anti-feminist. It's because the feminists are the ones that attack me the most. I mean, they feel the most betrayed by women who just don't buy onto everything that they say, and it's a toxic world on TikTok. I did not realize how people always say TikTok is the most toxic social media platform, and I did not realize how toxic it was until I started an Instagram. I haven't used Instagram before this for years, and I just started it when my account was banned on TikTok. But yeah, TikTok's a whole nother world, and the one great thing about TikTok is it does introduce you to so many more people because the entire like main page that you scroll on is all random. There's an
Wow.
algorithm. There's an algorithm, obviously, but you don't you're not scrolling through who you follow. It's all like an explore page. So it really does allow you to get that reach even as a small account. If you have a small account that's brand new, you can have a video go viral. So it's
Wow.
really cool for reaching people.
Did you feel at any point like conflicted about being on TikTok because of like I don't know, wasn't it at one point like they were kind of like basically feeding your information like right to China, or am I like twisted on that? Like,
No, that definitely was talked about a lot. I mean, that's a tough one because yes, we did hear that China has all your information, they're collecting all of your data on your devices. And in my head, I'm like, that sucks. But at the same time, I feel like that's happening anyways. And I know that's not like a good argument against it, but I feel like everything that we're doing, all of our data is being collected, whether it's by our own government or foreign governments in China, which is probably the most, terrifying one. But I don't know. This is why I'm such a libertarian. Like, I just want to be left alone, like, pretty much. Not,
yes.
you know what I mean? I know you've said recently that you are a libertarian, and that's something that I'm like, because my TikTok account, I used to be conservative, Isabella. Then I had to change it because of the trend towards more authoritarian conservatism, which I just don't agree with whatsoever. And that is the trend in conservative, like young conservatives right now. That is the trend.
Yeah. You know what it is? Because it's like the pendulum is swinging back. I think because like media and culture is so liberal that we have like this younger, I don't know if you know are familiar with John Doyle, but I think he's a perfect example of like
Right.
this like new right, these like younger, and he's a baby. I mean, like you're a baby too. Like, but he's only 21 and he's like, I'm like, he's a perfect representation of like this pendulum swinging back to this next generation of like guys and girls who are going to be even more conservative because they're just like, oh, fuck this all the way.
Yeah, I
Um,
totally agree. A word that I see come up a lot when they're talking about, culture and politics is they're so against degeneracy, which I agree full heart. Like I'm such like a, Mother Teresa. I'm like not really that fun at all. I don't like drink or do anything fun. I'm such a loner. But
not fun.
but I also don't think that the government should be, mandating these values. But I see what they're saying. Like they have seen the trend of our society and our culture going towards such degeneracy. Like this is not even a joke. The NPR, so National Public Radio, which is publicly funded by taxpayer, we're paying for this. This is the supposed to be unbiased news. They made their song of the year of 2020 literally WAP. And when I first saw that,
I
I was
can't
like,
believe that.
in the
Wow.
name of feminism, in the name of feminism. So I understand why they would want to push back so much. It's like you're constantly overcorrecting culture, like one side overcorrects and then the other side has to kind of push back. So it makes a lot of sense, but I still don't change my principles over what's currently happening unless I think there's a good reason, but I'm not so quick to change my principles.
Right. Like you're open to changing your mind with new information, which like a lot of people are not. I'm blown away that you get so many hateful comments that is the sole like inspiration for your TikTok videos. And I graduated college very much a feminist, and it just took, years of just experiencing life and just realizing that that's not the way to go. That's not the way to happiness. So that I think when you have these feminists that are like coming after you and so angry, like I always think, like, I tell people, like, whoever you trigger online, it's almost like it's the opposite of you. Like, I find the people who really hate me, like, really hate themselves, and they are like super. I mean, like, sure, in real life, like, there's plenty of stuff I'm insecure about, but I know that I come across like this bad bitch. No, I don't. I come across like confident, and I seem to trigger people who like they're stuck in their careers or they don't love themselves. And of course, like, never take any you know which I'm sure you don't, like, never take any of it personally. It has so much to do with where it's coming from than you, because you and I, like, we'll see stuff online that we don't like and we'll just move along with our day. Like, it takes a certain kind of person to be like, I gotta shut this down. Like, I have to destroy this person and their voice because it challenges something in them that they don't want to look at and they don't want to
Yeah.
uncover.
I totally agree. And this is partly why, like, my personality, nothing bothers me. You literally cannot offend me. It's impossible. And I attribute that to, again, my father, who my entire life would say, sticks and stones may break your bones, but words don't hurt. So words will never hurt you. Don't let anything bother you. And I know it's so easy to say, but having that message just reiterated my entire life really has stuck to where there's nothing that you could say that could bother me, because I know I'm not perfect. I know my flaws. And if you were to point out my flaws, I'd be like, hey, I agree with you. Or if you were to point out something that I disagree is a flaw, then I'd be like, hey, I disagree with you. That's fine. It does not bother me. Also, I agree that it takes only a miserable person to take time out of their precious day to actually go send hate to someone. Like me, I feel like I try to take time out of my day to comment on people's stuff, like videos or pictures that I like, because I want to help them, or not help them, but just, be nice. And I like them, so I want to encourage them. I would never waste my time sending someone hate. I would think it's a waste of my own time. I just don't understand it. And with TikTok, it's funny because people I'll get these comments all the time. How did I get on this side of TikTok? How did I get on this hateful side of TikTok? And it's because you're commenting on my videos. If you interact with my videos, you will get more of my videos. So they can't help
Wow.
themselves. They're like rabid animals. They're like obsessed. I swear, these people are the most obsessed people with Trump than any like big MAGA supporter I've ever seen, because they can't stop talking about him. I will get comments on my videos. I barely make videos about Trump, maybe under 10 in my entire life, and I have like hundreds of videos at this point now. I will get comments on videos that don't even mention Trump. Why are you so obsessed with Trump? Trump lost, Biden won. I'm like, I'm not even talking about the election. I'm talking about feminism. Like, this has nothing to do with Trump. Why are you mentioning him? Why are you obsessed?
Yeah, it's these folks that don't realize like it's the basic law of attraction and like manifesting, like attracts like. So if you spend all day obsessing about what you hate, like you're gonna attract more of that to you, and then you're just gonna like be spiraling. And I think that's what's and that's what you said you do is like you spend time like sending positivity like into the internet. You're like I like let people know I like what they're doing, and then that kind of like makes their day better. And you're not going to stop somebody by trying to cancel them. You're actually like kind of emboldening them to keep going. That's the effect it has on me. I'm like, oh, I'm hitting a nerve. Like and
Right.
as a comedian, like I either want to hit a nerve or make you laugh or make you think. So I'm doing my
Right.
job.
When I see a video get a lot of hate comments, I will keep going on that issue, because I know that's how I get more views. There's one video of mine on TikTok that, I'm not even kidding you, has over 40,000 hate comments,
Where is
majority hate
it? Oh my
comments.
God.
Oh,
Let's get it up.
it's like, it's one of my old ones. It's so I even have like a typo in it, which is like makes me cringe as someone that's a perfectionist,
Oh my
but
God.
it's so far back.
All right.
It's stupid. It's stupid. It's all I said was, there was like a trend, I might be ugly, but at least I don't blah blah blah. And I said, I might be ugly, but at least I don't have my pronouns in my bio, something like that. And
Right.
it's so far back. It's like one of my first videos. I can try to find it. My Wi-Fi is terrible, so it might take a second. But
Oh, that's
that's
okay.
literally all I said. And it got so many hate comments. People just can't stand the idea that I would never have my pronouns in my bio. And, if you even say that there's only two genders on TikTok, that video will be removed for hate speech. That's a
Whoa.
guarantee. That's a guarantee.
Holy cow. That's wild.
Yes.
Like,
Yeah.
so actual facts are not allowed. So it's kind of no wonder that my Instagram was just 86th. So I got to work on maybe getting that back. Or I just, I'm going to be like a porn star now, and I just have to like create a new Instagram account every couple of
I
months or
know. Like,
so.
a lot of the things I see on TikTok too, it's pretty gross. Like, there's like a trend of this song of I'm just 16, and it's like a sexual song, and there would be like underage girls like making out to it on TikTok. And I'm like
What?
that and I'm
Oof.
like, this is okay, but me saying that there's only two genders. Or here's another great example. One of my videos got taken down for hate speech that was just a Mother Teresa quote.
Oh
Like,
my
sorry,
God.
I'm still trying to find this video. It's like one of my first videos.
So do you think TikTok has stricter rules on what they take down than Instagram, or do you think it's about the same?
So I've never had anything taken down on Instagram. I don't know if that's just because I'm a new account. I only made my Instagram January 1st. When my TikTok account was previously banned, I got it back, obviously. But I would say from my experience, TikTok, but I have heard that the second that you become on Instagram's radar, it's terrible.
I guess that's where I am.
Yeah, so I don't think Instagram has taken notice of my account yet, and I'm trying to fly under the radar, but I'm sure eventually that will be terrible. But I feel like TikTok used to be like the wild, wild west. Anyone could post anything. And then as soon as like there was companies, how the United States had to buy, like had to like buy the TikTok from the Chinese to like make it so it would stay. Like Trump was making it so it needed to be owned by United States companies. I swear that's when they started being crazy about banning. Okay, it was this
Wow.
video. So I don't know why. I I have like a
Oh my
typo. I said I
God.
might be ugly, but at least, and it's supposed to say I don't have my pronouns in my bio. I was gonna
Right.
delete it, but it was like going viral, so I was like, whatever. But as you can see, I mean, it won't even let me show you the comments on here, which kind of sucks. But if you want to go see a ton of hate comments, they're there. So it's
Right. You can
37.
see there. You can see there you got like 7,726
Right.
likes, 37 comments. Holy cow. And this was your most popular video?
I don't know if this is the most popular video. I would say this is the most hated video. Just
Because you're
as you
not
can see,
ugly. You're not ugly.
well,
So
also they say like I got ratioed. So the ratio is basically like you got ratioed, meaning you got way more comments than likes,
then
meaning
likes.
that so it's worse. So I got, 7,000 likes, 37,000 comments. So that's a really big ratio. So a lot of people take that as, oh, haha, this I'm going to be upset about it. I got ratioed, and I'm like, no, that's fine. You guys are giving me more views. I don't care. Like people think it's
Wow.
like going to bother me. I'm like, I want to be ratioed. Like please keep commenting, keep helping my videos do better. But it's a stupid video, and it just yeah, TikTok. It's more. I do more talking videos now. More lately. I don't know, just because I'm
I love
responding to hate
that
comments.
because people
So
need to hear your voice because you're well spoken. So it's not um like I don't when before we started recording, we're talking. I was like, oh my God. Like, not that I expected you. I did not expect you at all to like I just didn't know what to expect. Not that I all expected you to be like dumb because clearly you're like
that's
you're
because
like
I'm a
not a
woman.
you're not a brainwashed liberal. But you know what it is? I think I judged you for being on TikTok. So I'm gonna apologize. I'm gonna
That's
apologize
okay.
here.
I think I always say like when people ask me, "What do you do?" I'm like, I make stupid TikTok videos because so I'm with you. Like I agree, it's stupid. So
But it's not stupid because that's where so many people are. And like that's where you go. I mean, you're reaching so many people. Do you get many
not good.
like I'm sure people are giving you positive feedback.
Yes, so I do definitely get a lot of positive feedback. I don't really read a lot of the comments because again, they're mostly just terrible, and not that it bothers me, like I laugh at them, but I don't know. I get so like TikTok's like the one thing every time I go on the app, I will always have like 99 plus like new notifications, and it's always hate comments. But I do
Wow.
see positive comments, and I'm always like, okay, good. Someone understands where I'm coming from. So, but at the same time, even if I got no positive comments, I really truly believe what I'm saying. So I'm fine with even if I get no one to agree with me. I'm not going to, change the way I say things or cater my views to accommodate other people. That's one thing is I'm very happy. I'm very confident in what I believe in. So it doesn't bother me if people I like or dislike disagree with me or not.
And that's what it is. You're so self-assured and you're like for like a young person who's so self-assured, like that is what triggers people because there's so many lost souls out there and who didn't have parents that gassed them up, built them up, as they grew up. So they're now adults and they're like just insecure as fuck and sometimes it's their fault, sometimes it's how you were raised, like it takes you years sometimes of like therapy, whatever, to kind of fill in the gaps where your parents didn't necessarily like do the best job. Um, so I think that's one of the, you're going to trigger people who are not self-assured and the feminists. Cause that's the thing is like, if feminists were so secure in their decisions, they wouldn't be so angry. They'd be like, okay, you do you, like, I'll do me. But I think and I can say this because I was totally there myself. You spend years believing this, kind of living this feminist life and you're like just kind of really unhappy and you feel alone like I was taught for years like you don't need a man, men suck, men are the number one source of all your problems, they're the reason why the environment is the way it is. And then that was like a couple of my college courses, like totally
Right,
enforced
right,
that, and the
right.
friends you have enforced that. Yeah.
Right, they lead you to live a life of misery. So they make you hate men for your entire life. And then by the time it's like a little too late to have kids or start a family,
Yes,
you're like,
that's when
"Oh
you
my
wise
God."
up.
Yes, and then they create miserable feminists that are just like, like Chelsea Handler, who's just obviously not happy with herself. But yeah, I really attribute that mentality to, kind of why I'm a libertarian. I'm like an extreme individualist. I'm totally fine. I'm like the happiest I'm ever by myself. Like I like being alone. That's the thing. I'm like very extroverted. I'm very outgoing, but at the same time, I love being by myself. I just love doing what I want to do. If someone else wants to do something that I don't want to do, I'm just like, I don't want to do that. That's fine. You can do it. We don't need to hang out, but I just want to do what I want to do, and I don't need approval from other people. And I've always been that way. I've definitely probably, I'm sure, gotten better at that. But where I am right now, there's nothing that people could say or do that bothers me. And that's just because of individualism. And that's something that, with the whole, there was National Women's Day recently. And I even get like, I even want to vomit when conservatives are like, oh, here's some women that we should, recognize. I'm like, okay, cool. But I was not like, just because we're both female does not mean that I get to, enjoy the rewards and the thanks to whatever they've accomplished, right? Like I love Margaret Thatcher, but just because I'm a girl also does not mean that I get to reap the benefits of what she has accomplished. I just don't think that's, why don't we have a day celebrating individualism? Let's celebrate that, because why would I, because I'm a female, get the same attention because someone else did something that's also a girl? It makes no sense.
Right. If I would celebrate someone on International Women's Day, it would be like my mom, because she like took a job. She went from like not working to like started working when I was in first grade. And like, thank God she did, because like the three of us couldn't have afforded to go to college had she not done that. So it's like, okay, that directly impacts my life. But like, yeah, Cardi B like twerking on CBS, like that's like that has no impact on my life. I'm not trying to be what she is. She's not a role model. So I just don't like this, like, and it goes into like, oh, support all women, believe all women. It's like, no, some women are full of shit that need to be called out. Just like some men are full of shit and need to be called out. So
right. And that's why individualism is the answer, because individuals act differently. It's inherently sexist to say believe all women. That's obviously irrational. And that's another video I got taken down on TikTok because I said that's obviously an absurd idea and, hate speech, because that offended some people. But yeah, it just, all these ideas are completely absurd and sexist. And like all this collectivist mentality is inherently like racism is collectivist mentality. Sexism is collectivist mentality. And these are all ideas of the left, which is I'm totally against.
and it's up to each of us to like prove ourselves. Like, I don't want a free pass because I'm a woman. Like people ask me like, oh, what's it like being a woman in comedy? It's like, well, I don't know. I haven't like been a man in comedy. I haven't been like whatever, a different kind of minority in comedy. But I definitely don't want to like use that to my advantage. Like, because if you do, the women that do kind of use that to their advantage, it's fleeting. Like, you sleep with a person who owns a club or you owns a festival or like whatever it is. That's like a momentary gain, and
Right.
just like you shouldn't
Yeah,
get a
I'm
free
against
pass.
that.
Each race and each sex of person, all
Right.
two of them, like
Right.
comes with inherent strengths and weaknesses, comes with inherent like privilege. There's Black privilege, there's Hispanic privilege, there's like, so I just think we ought to throw that out the window because,
Yeah.
it just kind of zeroes out.
Right. And people always say, like, why are you an anti-feminist? And I'm like, well, I've been a girl my whole life. I've never felt disadvantaged for being a girl. It's, if anything, I feel like I've gotten more advantages. And let's say we did live in a world where females were, disadvantaged, whatever. I'm like the personality that I want to prove everyone wrong. I want to be the person that's, even though I'm disadvantaged because of, being a female, I want to prove everyone wrong because I'm that much better. So it motivates me. It's not something that, sitting around and being miserable and whining about everything is not going to make anyone hire you, is not going to make anyone want to be around you. Also, all these like anti-discrimination laws in the workforce, and it incentivizes companies to employ people that are just white men, because no one's going to say I was fired because I'm a white male. But guess what? If you are fired because you're or if you're
Wow.
fired and a woman, or if you're fired and you happen to be Black, then people could say I was fired because of this. And employers don't want to be put in that. They don't want to have that liability. So it actually incentivizes people to hire white men.
Oh man. I've just noticed like a real big corporate trend to like really shoving the inclusivity like down our throats. And it's just like, I don't know. It's I don't know
It's
what the answer is.
antithetical to
Yeah.
everything that MLK said. He wanted everyone to be judged on the content of their character and not by the color of their skin. And it's completely antithetical to that idea. And they would have to hate MLK today.
And like what is wrong with just hiring the most qualified person? Like race should never like enter into that conversation. But it's like, I know just people would hear, there's some people who would hear us talking about this and just be rolling their eyes and tune out. Like, what do they know? They're white. And it's like that, even that is like such a racist thought. Like, well, like
Right.
your opinion doesn't matter. You're automatically discounted because you're white. It's like, do you hear yourself? Like, do you, I don't know. It's just like after a while, it's enough to like really piss people off. And I think that's what was so, I think, attractive about Trump and what's kind of emboldened this new generation of like conservatives, or like at least anti like liberals, you know, like the new
Yeah.
right or whatever, the new right that Michael Malice talks about. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I absolutely love him, by the way. But yes,
Love
no,
him.
yeah, he is one of the. It's impossible to actually make me laugh. It's like a funny joke within my family and close friends. Like it's very hard to make me laugh, and he is very funny. I actually just bought my boyfriend. My boyfriend's birthday was this past Wednesday, and one of the books I
Aw.
bought him was Dear Reader by Michael Malice.
Oh, I
So
haven't read that yet. Yeah.
yeah, I'm going to borrow it. I haven't read it yet either, but yeah, I feel like there was something I was just about to say, and now I can't remember. Well,
wait,
Trump.
being white, Trump. Okay.
Trump. So this is something that you'll hear a lot of people on the right say that their favorite thing about Trump, like not his rhetoric, you know, his personality, but they love his policies. I'm like the opposite. So I'm a libertarian. So he's pretty big government. So it wasn't even so much so his policies that I like. I like his rhetoric. I like his Twitter. I miss his Twitter. The worst tweets that
I
everyone freaked
miss
out about.
him so much.
I loved that part about him, you know, and that I just always find it funny when conservatives like pride themselves on like liking his policies over his rhetoric. I'm like, I'm the exact opposite. I like his rhetoric because he was like the manifestation of like the metaphorical big red middle finger to the establishment, political correctness, the mainstream media, or as Michael Malice calls them, the corporate press. So that's what I loved so much about him.
Yeah. Yeah. He says what so many people are thinking. And there is part of him that like almost kind of speaks to like the disillusioned, perhaps like Occupy Wall Street crowd. That's when they realize like, oh, let's make this a race war instead of a class war. And they kind of dissolved that real quick.
Right. Like there's some Bernie bros, which always like baffles me, but there's some Bernie bros that, you know, voted for Trump over Hillary Clinton, which I guess makes sense because if they really hate the elite establishment so much, then that would make sense. That's another unique ability of Trump is he's obviously a billionaire, but somehow I've never met him, but I do get this idea that he can talk to a normal person and just talk to them like he's just a normal person, that he's not some elitist billionaire, that he's really like the common man within himself. And he's not just some elitist like, you know, Hillary Clinton or the Obamas, which I don't feel like they are even people, which I know they are, but they don't seem it.
Trump was in my dream last night because I had like a bunch of weird dreams because that always happens when I like go to sleep anxious because I have like a big day of like recordings today, whatever. So I had this dream where like we're waiting for Trump to get off his plane, and then like somebody handed me like a box with his like favorite drink in it, which I don't know what his favorite drink is, but like
he doesn't drink.
No, okay, great. So it was this dream needs to be fact checked, but it was like,
yeah,
I think a can of seltzer with like a little thing of vodka in it, and I just was like waiting for him to go around, and then he just like took it. And in the dream, I could felt like he was looking at me like, "Who the fuck are you?" I'm gonna have to look that up because there's probably like I've never had a dream with Trump in it, so it must mean
I have
something.
not either. I don't remember most of my dreams, but my boyfriend has said that there has been times where I've woken up in the middle of the night and literally said liberals, like all crazy. And I'm like, even in my sleep, I'm like a psychopath. So I don't remember. I'm always like, record me when I'm sleep talking because I always say funny stuff apparently.
Oh my God. I'm looking up now, dreammoods.com. That's my go-to for like looking up dreams. Do they have a thing with politician in it? No, this is obviously a huge
My
waste.
mom used to have this like big dream book, and
yes,
that would be interesting. Something that I mean, it's so stupid, but like astrology, it's weirdly accurate. But I know I'm such a skeptic that I know it's all BS, but it's weirdly accurate. I don't understand it.
What are you? Wait. Don't tell me. Are you a Virgo?
Yes.
Like, dude, yes.
Yeah, like
I knew it. I was gonna tell you. I was gonna say it before because you were like, I'm okay being alone. Like it's kind of my way or the highway. I'm like, this is sounding Virgo. This is like
I'm such a Virgo. Yeah. Oh my God, great.
Yeah,
now I feel like I'm usually
so
good at guessing
satisfying.
people. I don't know.
I was like,
oh God, I don't know what you are.
I have not given enough to go off of because this is like I'm interviewing you, so I'm a Scorpio.
I watched your videos though. Oh, okay. I'm a Scorpio moon.
I have a lot. Ooh, okay. So the sun sign is kind of like the character that you're like. If the world is a stage, like it's like what you're playing, the role you're playing. But your moon is, I think, your inner self, and my moon is Aquarius.
Oh, my rising's Aquarius.
Ooh, okay.
So that's like your first impression.
this is like every single episode ends up turning a little bit into like astrology time, but
You
I
know
want
who's a good example of an Aquarius? I am such a skeptic. I try to disprove astrology, but that's why I know like all these politician signs. The perfect example of an Aquarius is Alex Jones.
Yes, he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah, and it's like the aliens, like he's believing all these other stuff. You know, he's okay with going against the grain, and I think
He's a
he's
little
the perfect
flighty.
example. Yeah.
Wow, I would want to know what Rand Paul is.
Oh, I
I guess we
weirdly
could look it
don't
up.
know that.
Oh my God, let's look
Yeah.
it up. Let's look it up. Rand
I'm
Paul.
surprised I don't know that. I'm like obsessed with his father, Ron Paul, and I don't know his either, which is a weird.
January 6th,
He's a
1973.
Capricorn,
So he's a Capricorn.
which
Hmm.
Capricorns are like my other favorite sign.
They're also like it's a good like boss in charge sign.
Yeah, yeah. I like the earth signs. I definitely vibe with the most, but the majority, I know this is so stupid, people probably don't even care. The majority of my chart is Leo though, because I used to say when I was younger, I'm not quiet like
Ooh.
a Virgo, but my majority of my chart is Leo, because I always used to say I should really be a Leo, I feel, because I'm like kind of right on the cusp.
I think that
But
speaks to your like performative nature, like certainly like your TikTok and your presence and like your like sort of that's like your inner peacock is very Leo.
yeah, it's like in
It's
all the planets that have how you interact with people and stuff is like in Leo. So I guess it makes sense, but yeah. I know
I
someone who has like,
love
I know
it.
you had him on your podcast, someone whose birthday is either on my birthday or the day or before or after is Roger Stone, which I'm like obsessed with
Oh
him.
my God. Yeah, that was definitely my like most like freaking out, like anxious to interview. But he's such a cool guy. And
Yeah.
I guess we're buds now. So
Yeah,
um
I didn't even know who he was until in college. I had to write a paper on the documentary Get Me Roger Stone, and I was supposed to hate him after it. And I fell
wow.
in love with him. I was like, oh, I love this man. And I just completely became obsessed. Like, I love him. So, yeah.
So they didn't the liberal brainwashing tricks were of no they didn't work on you.
Oh, they never work on
You were
me. I'm
you're
such a
too smart.
skeptic that whenever anyone tells me something, I always, and this is how I deal with everyone. Like I always put myself in their shoes. So if I were in their shoes, would this bother me? Like in politics, if I was a Democrat, would this bother me? If Republicans were doing it. So I always try to do that. And that's just why I think that's like my biggest piece of advice to anyone. People will always say, "Oh, where do you get your news information?" And I say, I don't trust anyone. Be skeptical, question everything, even if it's someone that's coming from your side of things. And always just the more sources, the more opinions, the better. So that's how I feel.
Yeah, good for you. How did you get involved with Turning Point USA? Could you explain like who they are and like what your ambassador role is about?
Yeah, so this is more of just recently. They actually I applied like a little bit ago, and because I have some friends in Turning Point, and they told me to apply, and I was like, sure, why not? And they reached out to me during CPAC, which was a couple weeks ago. So
Did you go
I
to
wasn't even.
CPAC?
Yeah, I did. It was actually the first
Ooh, look
political
at
event I've
you.
ever been to.
Oh my
Yeah,
goodness. I thought about going, but I was like, well, I don't know, it's expensive. So I was like, maybe next time.
yeah, it was the first political event I've ever been to. So it was really cool to actually meet people. But yeah, I mean, basically, Turning Point events. I mean, I haven't even been to one yet. I just became an ambassador, but it's really cool. I do love what they stand for. They really do still stress the values of, pro capitalism, anti socialism, which is something that the paleo conservatives are trending against. They keep saying we should stop talking about capitalism and socialism. We should be talking
Hmm.
about, all the social issues and cultural issues. I agree we should talk about those too. But I think the most basic thing we should be talking about is, individual liberty, freedom, personal
Yeah.
responsibility,
Yep.
private property rights. You can't steal from other people. And these are the most basic things that are why capitalism is the only moral system and why socialism or communism are terrible. So, yeah, but I'm
Wow.
excited to be involved with them and hopefully more will come. I feel like I feel just started everything, but I'm very excited to see what comes in the future. I'm really open to anything, any opportunities that come my way. So people
So
always
would
ask me, what do you want to do? And I'm like, whatever comes my way, I'm happy doing. So
yeah, I think you could just do whatever you want to do, basically. So would they use you to like speak at events, you think, or more just
I'm
like
not sure.
activism?
I just got involved. So they told me that if I want to start recording stuff with them, I can. They have like whole production sets and whatever. But I'm pretty sure they're based in Texas.
Oh
So, and
wow, okay.
I'm based in Connecticut, and I'm actually moving to New York City soonish this year, She's like, everyone's fleeing. Everyone's fleeing. I know, I'm totally down. It's my boyfriend just got hired with Amazon and his like as a manager, and his warehouse is gonna be in Brooklyn, New York. So I will be moving there eventually.
God, wow. So when I order sex toys, maybe he will have some part of that. Maybe he'll be the one putting it in a box.
Yeah, maybe that will be his role. I'll be like, oh yeah, that's going to Chrissie. So yeah, so it's kind of difficult, but I definitely see myself getting involved with, media and production, and I talk a lot, so I feel like that's a good role for me, but I'm not really sure yet. I don't know.
Yeah, you're
we'll see.
How old are you? What are you, like 22? You're like a baby.
Yeah, 22.
Oh my God, you have at least 10 more years of dicking around, honestly, before you really need to figure it out.
I'm like not happy unless I'm doing I feel like I will never be happy. I'm always like, you need to be doing more. I'm like guilt tripping myself. Like I'll feel guilty if I sleep too long one night. I'm like, I should have been getting this done. And so it's my Virgo perfectionist mentality.
I have not. I used to be like very much not that way. Like I could get to a procrastinating place, but I am more so like what you're talking about now, like pushing myself. Like I don't like need somebody pushing me, like if I get into a rhythm. So I got there eventually. What can you remember what the worst comment was, or the worst thing somebody said about you or to you?
I've had some DMs. Like I remember one DM was like, "I hope you get raped and murdered like Trump raped all those women." And I was like, "Oh, you seem to really care about those women getting raped so much so that you wish I get raped." So a lot of stuff like that, kill yourself, or they'll try to they'll say I'm orange, like you're orange just like Trump, and I'm like, okay, cool, like thank you. I'm happy that I'm not like super pale. That's fine. I'm happy with that. Like
what a weak insult. That's so weak. My God.
Yeah, I remember one day this one girl kept commenting on all my videos on Instagram and TikTok saying, "Nice wig. Your wig is off. It's crooked." And I'm like, that's funny. Like what? There's some people that I feel like that would bother them, but I'm like, I'm not wearing a wig, so why would that bother me? That's like, it's funny. So I laugh it off. Honestly.
It's a compliment. It means you have perfect wig-like hair. Like I am still rocking this blowout. Well, this
it looks so good.
It's really on there now.
It looks really good. Your hair looks really good.
God, thanks. Yeah, thank you. I'm trying to like make it last till Monday. It's probably not though. I'm gonna have to just like swim in some dry shampoo soon.
Oh yeah, no, I'm the same way. People don't realize that the more you wash your hair, it's bad for your hair. So I try to not wash my hair for a week.
Do you do like what do you feel about like low poo or no poo? Because like that's like the shampoo that has like it doesn't really suds up, and it doesn't have, I think, sulfates in it. I don't know if that's the right ingredient, but basically the idea around that, it's like it doesn't create a suds and it's better for your hair, but then your hair goes through this, like you're basically not really shampooing it, but then your hair will go through like maybe a greasy phase. But like I guess the reason why your hair creates like grease or gets oily is because it's trying to like fight the whatever the shampooing does to it.
I feel like I've heard of that brand or whatever. No poo. Yeah. I don't use that though. The only thing I use is Briogeo. You can get it at Sephora. They don't have like sulfates or any of that stuff in it. So I like that. But it's like the first hair care brand that I've ever, like I used to in high school. I could not go out without having my hair braided, straightened, or something. Like it was frizzy. But that was the first shampoo and conditioner, hair products whatsoever that I could let my hair air dry and it looks fine. So that's like my favorite if I had to recommend anything. And also, since I've trained my hair to where I only have to shampoo it once a week, it is more expensive, but I only have to do it once a week. So I will like buy like the big deluxe sizes and they'll last me like a year because I don't wash my hair that often. So
good for you. Maybe I'll try that. Yeah,
real accomplishment.
It is accomplishment. So like it takes a while. It takes years sometimes for you to like figure out like what clothes you look the best in, like how your hair looks the best, like get your makeup down. It's like that's like the real task of being a woman, I think, is like not being a slave to trends and being like, what is my like classic look?
Yeah, the clothing's harder for me because I'm literally a couple inches away from being a legal midget. I'm 5'0", so it is so hard for me to find clothing that like is not, dresses and skirts usually look like nightgowns on me and everything's too long and that's a struggle. But
yeah, you have to get everything petite, because I'm 5'2", 5'3". So yeah, it would just be basically getting everything petite or like, yeah, getting everything tailored, which is a bitch because it's expensive, but like,
yeah. Gotta do what you gotta do.
This is our struggle. This is what it's hard to be a female.
Right. Or AOC, or Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, because it's, so terrible to call her by what her Twitter name is. But AOC said this is, because there was a documentary on Netflix when she was getting elected to Congress. It's actually a decent documentary. I wasn't surprised that she was elected because she's such like a personable and like charismatic person. I disagree with her, but she's really good at, like, if she were to knock on your door and you were like a Democrat, you'd probably be like, oh, I love her. But she like starts off with her putting on red lipstick, and she's like, these are the choices that as women, like, we have to struggle with every day. It's not like we can just get up and go to work. We have to struggle with what we're going to make our faces look like, because if we don't wear makeup, then blah, 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 boo-hoo. It's like, guess what? Guys don't get the luxury to try to make themselves look better. So whatever they're born with, they have to deal with. So I'm happy that we can actually enhance ourselves and have it be socially acceptable.
That's true. And if you're like a no makeup chick, like that, people will accept that. Like if you're a makeup chick and you stop wearing makeup, you will get a couple comments of like, are you sick? Are you not well?
Yeah.
But then if you stick to that, then they'll be like, oh, she's just the no makeup chick. She's blah. So, but like dudes, like, yeah, if a guy rolls up with like, is that eyeliner? What are you, gay?
Yeah. Like they're stuck with what they're born with. Like we at least can enhance ourselves. Like, I think I'm privileged that we're privileged to have that option.
It's our white privilege. No.
Exactly.
So in addition to the shitty comments that you get on TikTok, Instagram, everywhere, it doesn't stop at just you. Some of this hate has sort of bled onto other family members. And you said this has kind of been affecting your mom as well.
Yeah, so my mother is a registered nurse, and I've had people on, Twitter, whatever, tagging the hospitals that my mom works for, trying to get her fired, saying that this is her daughter. And my mother and I did start in 2017, a 501c3 nonprofit animal rescue. We have like 200 animals that on our property that we've rescued.
Aww.
And we've had people try to attack, like tagging my mom and like a bunch of other people in my videos saying, this is your daughter. Why is she a part of the rescue? Basically saying like, what? So just because I'm like libertarian or conservative, I can't be like a vegan who wants to help animals? Like that makes no sense. You'd rather all these animals go to die? Like, I'm not sure.
Because you don't fit the mold. Yeah, you have to be a liberal to be a vegan and like animals, apparently.
Right. So, I mean, it's crazy, but yeah, that's like the one thing I feel bad about, because I don't care if I get any hate comments. It really does not bother me. I laugh at them. I don't want it to affect my family or like friends. I just don't want them to receive any hate. I even feel bad, like if one of my family members or someone like follows me and then they'll be like, oh my God, all these hate comments, and they'll try to like defend me. And I'm like, just leave it alone, because they're going to attack you. And I don't want you to have to deal with it. Like, it doesn't bother me, so it's fine. So that's probably the hardest part, is having it affect other people. So yeah, they were doxing me, posting my address to where like now my family is saying that we need to get like all this huge security system with gates and stuff, because we don't want people showing up to the property. There was a woman, we're in Connecticut, and there was a woman who was going crazy, and she was like a mother of 4, and she's spending so much time like doxing me and like trying to get my mother fired from her hospital. And I'm like, so you're trying to get my mother fired from her hospital when she literally is a nurse working on the COVID floors? The left supposedly cares about COVID and having it spread to people. And the left is supposed to care about the animals, right? But you want to like destroy my farm that rescues animals because I'm a conservative or a libertarian. So I don't know. These people have again, they're miserable. They're not happy with themselves. So they have to spend their time destroying the lives of others.
Yeah, she sounds mentally ill. It's like
I feel bad for them. Like, I feel bad. I'm like, you hate yourself in your life, and that's sad, because that I don't feel that way, and that just sucks that you're so unhappy. That I genuinely hope these people can get better and feel better about themselves, because as much as hate they send to me, I'm really not like a vindictive person. I don't really wish ill upon other people. I don't want them to take over and like ruin everyone else's lives, but I want these people to find themselves. And that's why I feel like if people just understood the founding of America and, the libertarian limited government principles of individualism and personal responsibility, that these people could actually change their own lives and be happier. It's not just like economics of it. You'd be so much happier with your own life. And it's sad that most people don't know that.
Yeah, a bailout is tempting. Like, it's tempting to be like, oh, government is my new daddy and like they'll take care of me. But it's like ultimately way more fulfilling to like provide for yourself, and like you have more control and you have more creative freedom.
And what I always say to people is, do you really think that the government cares about you and your loved ones more than you care about yourself and your own loved ones? Because that will never happen. That's never the case. There's no one that cares about your well-being more than yourself. And it's definitely not the government who doesn't know who you are.
Right.
So it's human nature. It's very simple.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. What kind of animals do you have? Like, I'm so intrigued, and like I will have to actually
Yeah,
message you after
visit.
about
You'll have to
visiting.
come visit. Yeah. Oh,
I'm like obsessed. Yeah.
we have so many animals. So we have goats, sheep, pigs, emus, peacocks, um, hens, roosters, the chicken, just male, female.
Are these all rescue animals? Like a
Yeah.
rescue emu?
Yeah, we have 4 emus. We just recently got tortoises. We have turtles. We have chinchillas. We have sugar gliders, guinea pigs.
What's a sugar
Rescue.
glider?
I don't
Isn't
even
that
know
like
how to.
it's like a
They're
sugar
like this.
baby?
They're like this big, and they're like. I'm pretty sure they're marsupials, but I may be wrong.
Oh, kind of like
But
a flying squirrel or something?
yes,
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah. What else? We have geese, turkeys,
Oh my
ducks.
God.
We
How do
have
you
a lot.
how
Yeah,
do you
we
feed
have a
them
lot.
all?
We have a lot of volunteers, luckily, that help out because my mom
Mhm.
still works full time, and the farm isn't literally on our property anymore because we started out with just getting a couple animals. We have a couple of acres of land at home, but we wanted to expand it to be much more than what it was. So we found a property that's like 35-ish acres, 10 minutes away from our house, but we have a huge volunteer base. So, and we have someone that's there all the time. We have a barn manager that's always there. We also have mini ponies too. I forgot about them. But
Oh my
we have a lot. You'll
God.
have to come visit. We have
I want a mini
a lot of
pony.
animals. Yeah, they're very cute. Actually, one of our mini ponies was like the hardest rescue mission we ever had to do. She came to us on a broken leg. Her leg was literally in a like a 90-degree angle, like completely like the edge of a
Oh
square. It was
my
terrible.
God.
She was living on that for over a year, and it took a while for us to even find a vet that was willing to try to help her and perform the surgery. We finally found a vet in Pennsylvania, and she was down there recovering for over 6 months, and it literally cost over $40,000 for everything to be said and done. But she's able to, like,
Whoa.
we used to always say, we hope that one day she'll be able to, stay outside like a normal horse and gallop and be happy. And she is. And now she has a boyfriend. Her boyfriend's name is Pluto, and they are just outside
Aw.
loving life. So yeah, it is a lot. It is a lot because, there's people for some reason of the left that want to destroy my rescue farm. And my mom is not even political. It's just me. So it's like, what?
Man.
So just because I'm a conservative or libertarian, I should not be helping animals. Don't you care about the animals more than politics? But that's the thing. They don't. They don't. They want
They're
to send
the
people like me to the gulags.
they're so vicious. It's like if anybody after the last like year and a half that we've had like still believes that like the Democrats or like the left is the party of like unity and giving a shit. I mean, like
Tolerance.
that's wild. Yeah, it's like they're the most like they're vicious and they don't really care about
Absolutely.
anybody but themselves. It's wild. It's so crazy to
Absolutely.
me. What is the name of this organization and like where can people like donate if they want to help the animals?
Yeah, so it's so on Instagram it's at the Riley Farm Rescue. The website just
Oh,
therileyfarmrescue.org.
oh my
But
God.
yeah.
I'm bringing it up. I'm just gonna throw it up on the screen because I'm always looking for like new places to donate money to, and I don't know anything that has to do with animals. I'm all on board for it because I have a tortoise,
Because you have a
Iggy.
tortoise.
Because I have a
Yeah,
tortoise and I know some dogs. Yeah.
don't feel like you have to donate or do anything. But that's like one thing. That's why I'm a vegan animal lover.
Aw.
It's hard for me to have sympathy for people when, they have control over their lives, but animals have zero control over their own lives. They have no say over their conditions. So that's where like all my sympathy goes to is helping these innocent, defenseless animals. That's why I'm also pro-life, unborn babies have no say over what happens to them. So
Right.
that's why I've always used to say,
Aw.
like in school growing up, everyone, not that we shouldn't be donating to kids with cancer. I get that. But everyone forgets the animals, Everyone forgets, animal causes. So that's always something I've been, besides for politics, animals are like my other passion.
Were you always a vegan
No,
or?
so basically I went vegetarian at like the age of 8. So
Oh.
my mother and I watched this Oprah episode. It was the only episode of Oprah I've ever watched, and she went to a cow slaughterhouse, and I was traumatized, and I was like, I'm never eating meat again. And I remember my parents were saying, this will last a week, and I was like, okay, that's giving me more motivation to actually accomplish and stay vegetarian. And I remember my mom used to ground me for not eating meat at dinner. And this is something that we find funny now because my mom now is a vegan, rescues animals. And I'm like, everyone used to ground me for not eating meat.
Aww.
But yeah, it was the first week of my sophomore year in college when I stopped eating all dairy stuff. So I'm already allergic to eggs. So that was easy. But I used to only eat, pizza, mac and cheese, and that's all I used to eat. So
That's
my mother and I,
everybody in college. Yeah.
yeah, my mother, as soon as we got chickens, which were the first animals we got, she was like, I can no longer eat meat. This is weird. Like, I have them, they're like my friends. I can't eat meat. And then we both became vegan my first week of my sophomore year of college. And yeah, so it's tough because I'm like the pickiest eater in the world. I won't try tofu, fake meat, fake cheese, fake anything.
No,
I'm
don't.
super picky. So she's not. So she gets to enjoy that. But I'm like the pickiest eater ever. So, but it's okay. I always say, if I can do it, you can do it, because I'm the pickiest eater in the world.
What do you think of the impossible meat, or like the meat made in the 3D printer?
I will never try it.
Ugh,
People like it, but I'm so
looks really
picky.
suspect. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't had meat in so long to where I don't like feel the need to replace it. Like, it's not like I'm missing out on meat. So like my mom went vegan pretty shortly after she went completely no meat. So she was still missing out because she was used to eating meals with meat included. Whereas I haven't done that since as long as I can remember. I had to grow up making my own meals because it was such a problem. My mom, when people who eat meat, they eat meat in every meal. So my parents were like, we're not going to, change our entire dinner for you every single night. So I just made my own food, and I never thought to include meat because I didn't eat meat. So it's not like I'm missing something. So
what are you usually eating? Like, what do you like? What are your go-tos?
So this is like the great question. So right now, I'm definitely not the best on eating protein. So I go through phases of what I like to eat every day. So right now I'm really into French fries, which is, I know there's not a lot of protein in that, but I love fruit. I love veggies. Beans and rice is like the go-to. I love pistachios. The salt and pepper pistachios are like my favorite thing. I have to eat like a bag of those a day. I'm like obsessed with pepper, like really obsessed. When I put pepper on like my food or my pasta, it literally looks like a black snowstorm. It looks gross, but I'm like obsessed with pepper. So I always get it stuck in my teeth. It's really cute. But yeah, so that's the thing, is I struggle with making sure I'm getting enough protein, but because I won't try tofu or anything.
And they'll say, like, you can make like kale chips, like those.
I hate
those
kale.
are fun. Oh, you hate kale? Okay.
I've had kale once. I had a kale chip once. It literally tasted like I bit into a fart. That's the best way I could describe it to you. But my family likes them. So
yeah, those are good too. Yeah, nuts for sure. Like spinach.
Yeah, I love nuts. Nuts are great.
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great, Isabella. Where can people find you, follow you, support you? I think you're right. What's your TikTok handle?
So my TikTok handle and my Instagram and pretty much everything is at Isabella Riley USA. The only thing that's different is my Twitter. It's Isabella Riley US because the one more letter is too long. It really drives me crazy. But everything is at Isabella Riley USA. ISABELLARILEY USA.
So, and Isabella Riley USA is your TikTok, and Isabella Riley US is your Instagram?
Twitter. So everything. So Instagram is also USA. Twitter's the only one that doesn't have the A at the end. I'm on Gab, which I don't know how to use still. Parlor, which I don't use. Twitter, I've become a lot more active. So I'm trying to get more active. Twitter's hard to grow on. I feel like people who are big on Twitter tweet nonstop. I'm like, how do you do anything else?
It's like, yeah, tweeting on trending topics, it's like a lot of, I've been on Twitter, Jesus, since like 2007. So I didn't start to it takes a while. And it's just like, yeah, don't worry about that so much. Just like, just keep doing what you're doing, and say things that you believe are true. And like, you have a good thing going. So
Thank you. I hope you get your Instagram back.
Oh my God. Thanks, me too. Yeah. Who knows? Maybe I have to like create another identity. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I can't wait to come to your farm.
Yes.
And yeah, everything's great. Thank you so much for coming. Everything's fine. Everything's fine. Thank you so much for coming on the pod, Isabella. I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for having me. It was great talking to you.
Yes.